From Madison, Wisconsin, it's InstaFlicka, a podcast created for your Netflix instant viewing pleasure. What makes us qualified to critique these movies? Absolutely nothing. So grab yourself a beverage and please enjoy.
Hi, welcome to InstaFlicka.
I'm John.
I'm Craig.
I'm Phil. The movie we watched this week is 9 to 5, starring Dolly Parton,
Lily
Tomlin, and
Fonda.
Jane Fonda.
Jane Fonda, yes.
Fonda.
Jane.
Fonda. There were a couple. There were a few.
But yeah, the rundown is as follows. Violet is a constantly past... Sorry. The synopsis is as follows. Why don't you actually edit it out this week? You always leave my fuck-ups in there. I think I'm always...
Well, I think Dave said leave it in,
yeah.
So that's why when I usually I will edit it out.
Fun fact, Dave's a son of a bitch. So, Violet is a...
By the way, that's all going to stay in there.
Yeah, I have no doubt. Violet is constantly passed up for promotion she deserves. Dora Lee is the office pariah thanks to rumors started by her boss that he is having an affair with her. And Judy is Judy. The three all work for a truly repugnant man, and they decide his reign of terror has to stop. But after fantasizing about his demise, they find out they might have accidentally really killed him. Hijinks ensue.
This should have been a craptastic. Why is this a flashback?
This movie was so funny. What are you talking about? I was dying.
This movie is so ridiculously not good.
This is going to be good. I love it. All right, let's start off with likes then.
Likes?
This is going to be fireworks here.
I love Lily Tomlin. I grew up watching her on SNL on Nick at Night. She's very funny.
She was on SNL?
Yeah.
Wow.
She was cool. The operator lady. That was one of her recurring sketches. I really like... It was either SNL or Laugh-In. Pretty sure it was SNL. I could be wrong. She's very funny. I recently downloaded, like a year ago, downloaded a couple of her comedy albums, and she's just a very funny lady. She's got a great sensibility about her, and I really liked her character in this movie. She's very, no nonsense, while constantly being shit on. So there was a lot of conflict there, and some of her... One of my favorite scenes of the movie would be the hospital scene, and I just really liked her freak out. So, yeah.
I gotta agree with you on Lily Tomlin. I think she's the best, maybe the best thing in this movie,
Definitely.
aside from, I think, Dabney Coleman, the guy that played the boss. Really, this guy played 2 or 3 different characters in this movie, because of those...
Fantasies?
Yeah, the pot marijuana smoking scene.
Oh, that's my favorite scene. Weird.
Where he played sort of a subservient type guy. I don't know. I thought he did a great job at that. And I really liked the alcoholic lady at the office. Mm-hmm. I thought she added
was so funny.
needed humor to this. And basically, there was a couple other things. Like, we talked about the marijuana scene. I thought that was funny, the way they incorporated animation into it.
Yes. I thought it was funny that her son gave her the pot, and she was okay with it.
That was very funny, too.
It's like, alright.
I also like the rig that they tied the boss up to.
Yes, that was so funny.
It was basically a garage door opener where they would hit a button and he'd get pulled up to the ceiling. And really what I liked about this movie was what took place in the office. At the beginning and the end, particularly. Mm-hmm. I didn't much care for what happened in the middle, to be perfectly honest, but the office segments I thought were really good.
The only thing I really liked about this movie was Dolly Parton. I thought she was quite interesting, although her accent does not really fit New York very well.
No.
But I thought she was charismatic. This is one of her first big movie roles that kind of made her kind of a household name. So
I can see what all the fuss was about back in the day. She was an attractive lady. Mm-hmm. It's too bad she got all those facelifts and such, because she's looking real rough these days. I would have rather she aged like a natural person.
She looks pretty good for being 60 or something.
I hate people that get that much plastic surgery on their face. They all look kind of the same. My last like of this movie, besides the movie itself, the boss gets his comeuppance in the end. Like the last 2 minutes you see him when he's talking to his boss. Yeah. I liked it.
Dislikes now, please?
Yes, dislikes.
Absurd. This movie is completely absurd. The plot twists are absurd. The fantasy sequences were absurd.
Its category
and too
was
long.
screwball.
Oh, okay. As far as the fantasy sequences go, I thought that was one of the better parts of
It was definitely
because it is purely that. It is fantasy, and this is what they wanted to do with the boss.
They're drunk and high.
That makes sense to me. I didn't think that was...
I thought they were ridiculous.
Did you think it was far-fetched, or what was... it's a fantasy. It's not real. Like, clearly it's not happening.
They were not funny to me.
They weren't birds.
They were too long. Maybe it's, looking at it from now, from when we grew up kind of like, or in the last few years, I've watched a lot of Family Guy, I'm sure. And Family Guy does basically things like this, but they do it in like 15 seconds. You know what I'm saying? They do a flash to like...
They're a 30-minute show. They gotta move their plot along.
But they do like these 3 really drawn out fantasy sequences where all the women get their, revenge on the boss, and it's just so like
who was the first one? Was that Dolly Parton that did the first one?
The first one was
it Jane Fonda?
Jane Fonda, because it was the hunting one.
Hunting. Oh, where she mounted his head on the wall and everything. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
I thought that was far-fetched. I really liked Dolly Parton's.
I really yes, that one was really good. I liked the boss's character in that one.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. I thought he did a really good job of acting. Like, he has a female boss who's basically hitting on him and
basically turns the tables.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool. I didn't as much care for the other two.
I liked Lily Tomlin.
But I think Lily Tomlin is great, and I think the animation was kind of cool. The way that, and then that ended up coming into play later on in the movie. But yeah, I was going to say I would at least defend those. Part one of my dislikes, I would say, have you ever watched a presidential debate? Sometimes they have like people in a room like watching the debate with like little clickers where they talk about
disinterest.
Yeah, you see a graph of people's interest and disinterest. I would say my interest in this movie was shaped like a parabola. So it was high on the beginning and the end, and in the middle it just dropped like drastically. Especially the scene in the morgue, the one that you really liked. I thought it was completely pointless because, as viewers, we knew that the guy was not dead.
Yeah.
So we were sitting there. There was no suspense because we knew the guy was dead, but they kept going along with this whole scheme about how to like get out of possibly being suspected murderers. For the guy.
Well, I just like the reactions. I love their the interaction with the cops later.
I thought I tuned out entirely during that entire part.
It's too bad.
And I think if we didn't know that the guy was dead at that point, we would have been a little more interested. Like
Correct.
maybe they were doing this for a reason. But the whole time I was like, I don't care now because
when I got to that point in the movie, it was done for me. I couldn't watch like anything more. I just left it on and just basically tried to ignore it. But the problem was there's like an hour left of the movie at that point, and I was just like I was wanting to tear my goddamn eyes out.
It was
horrible.
Well, I didn't think the
just evolved so much.
I didn't think the part where they kept him locked up was that bad. I liked the whole rig that they had set up. I thought that was kind of funny. But I wasn't drawn back into it until they got back to the office where they had all these characters. Obviously, a lot of the plot points, it was very obvious that they were going to happen.
Yes.
Like as soon as they started instituting these programs, it's like, oh, I wonder if they're going to find out that the workplace is more productive and everyone's a lot more happy. Like
weird,
yeah. You could probably call everything that happened in this movie. So I don't know.
I also did not like the boss. I thought he was...
that was one of my favorite parts of the movie.
He was too much of a caricature. I mean, he was just like this one lopsided character, just an asshole. I mean, it's just like a straw man.
I feel like I know people like that.
I don't know.
I feel there's just this guy a character that was set up to hate, and like I hate characters that are so just one dimensional like that. That are just like you just hate them. It's just a solid. This is not a comic book movie. I mean, if this was a comic book movie, maybe I could see the bad guy being very one sided. But in a movie like this, I mean. I just thought it was absolutely ridiculous that he was just so unlikable. I mean,
and stupid and
yeah,
all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I didn't watch the second half very well, so I don't know. But I mean, I don't think there's any men in this movie that have any redeeming qualities.
Dolly Parton's
husband was pretty
nice. He got to bone Dolly Parton. He seemed to be pretty happy about that. He didn't do anything
supportive.
negative. Yeah.
I also think this movie is not entirely unindicative of the times.
Of the times, yeah.
This is real in that sense, I think.
Yeah, I didn't think it was all unreal.
I think it's.
I have no doubt that there are people like this in the world, and this happened, and pay scale wise, women are still lagging behind men. It's a problem. I have it was obviously worse of a problem back then, but there's got to be some nuance. I mean, it's just so one sided.
Well, yeah. But it's a comedy.
In case you're just checking in, Craig hates women.
Yes.
And wants them to fail in the workplace. My only dislike of the movie is the theme song was a little too catchy. I had it in my head for like 2 days afterwards. Just nonstop, full blown, just killed me.
I do like the song.
Dolly!
Yes.
You bitch. Word.
Should we read this bad boy?
Sure, let's. I gave this 4.5 out of 5 boxes of Skinny and Sweet. Or is it Ritterette? They look the same. Except for the skull and crossbones.
I gave it a 1, and that was pretty much solely because of the song 9 to 5 that I liked.
Wow.
I was going to say, I actually did not care very much for Dolly Parton in this movie. I don't think she's a particularly good actress.
No.
But whatever. I give this one a 3 out of 5. A marginal recommendation. I doubt I would ever watch it again. But like I said, it's just... It sags so much. I understand exactly why you tuned out entirely. So my roommate said she would not watch it again. So
way too long.
Yeah, it did. It did seem really long.
It was a long movie.
So, all right.
Word.
So that is a very marginal recommendation.
Yeah, which is too bad because
no, it's not.
Because like I said, I gave it a 4.5. So
I could see this being a movie.
I can't believe you gave this a 4.5.
I really
How did you give this a 4.5? I'm going to go back and look at all the movies that you gave like less than this and ask you, is this better than those movies? Because I mean, this is a really. How can you give this 4.5?
I could see this being.
If you enjoyed this podcast, please go and give us a rating on iTunes. For updates and to join the conversation, feel free to follow us on Facebook and Twitter by searching for InstaFlicka. Give us feedback through our website at instaflicka.squarespace.com and email us at instaflicka@gmail.com. You can also leave a message to our hotline at 608-616-5243. It might even end up on the show. Thanks again for listening, and as always, mind your Netflix Instant Queue.